Okay, we always have to have some fun, Kristin, on this show. Welcome to another edition of Las Vegas Pitch Presents Kristin Cirimele. We're so excited to have her. We're going to have a great discussion today. We're going to talk about a little bit about Kristin and her specialty. We're going to talk about the market, what's changing in the market, and a little bit about supply of homes. So Kristin, to kick it off, born and raised here in Las Vegas.
Born and raised.
Have you had such a great time? You've seen so many changes here.
Yeah.
What's been the biggest change?
The growth of the city, to be honest, is definitely the biggest change. I mean, back in middle school, it used to take 45 minutes to an hour to go to Mount Charleston for the day. And now it's like 15 minutes and you're there already.
Boom, boom. And you were saying that you had some friends that you had to take like dirt roads, right?
Yeah. So my friend lived like Anna 95 area, which now is like damn near the middle of the city, right? And I used to have to get off the freeway and then take dirt roads to get to her house because they weren't even paved out there.
Wow. And being a native of Las Vegas, has it been fun to kind of see the sports teams come in here and all the growth and what's happening?
Yes.
Or are you like, I'm tired of it, I don't want it to go?
No, I think it's great because growing up, my family has always been super big into sports, but they had teams from where they came from. That's why they liked them. I never had a team where I came from because I grew up in Vegas. We didn't have sports here. We had gambling and that was it, the Heat.
Now, have you adopted all of the sports teams here now?
It's fun. I love going to the Golden Knights games. They're super fun. So, yeah.
I've been to the Raiders games, and that's been fun too. I'm a big football fan, so I love it. I love it. But so knowing all the nooks and crannies, where do you think some of the best growth is here in Las Vegas?
Definitely out like the Henderson area. I don't love it out there personally, but just to see the growth out there is crazy. I have a couple clients that have just moved out into Cadence, and it's crazy because you're so close to the lake. So people who love all of the water sports and things, it's like a great area for them. It has a lot of growth still that needs to happen out there, but I think within the next couple of years, that's going to be a great area.
Yeah.
I also love how much growth like Sky Canyon area has. And like I said, you drive 15 minutes and you're already in the mountains. So you have water sports and summer stuff on the one side of town, and you can go Sky Canyon and have more like the mountainous vibes up there. So I think it's great.
My wife and I go skiing at Mount Charleston.
Yeah.
And she goes almost every week during the winter and takes our son there. So it's perfect to go out there.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the market, right? Things are changing in the marketplace. We've seen interest rates go up, and we've seen talk about values. Where are values going right now?
Values, I think that they've kind of stabilized a little bit. They were a little bit higher. We saw a decrease with them coming down, but now they're pretty consistent.
Yeah. And why is that? Why do you think that is?
I think that people finally started to realize that they weren't going to go down much further. So they needed to start jumping in and buying and stop wasting their money renting.
Yeah, I know. I think we were talking a little bit earlier. I believe that last year, a lot of people coming into the marketplace at the beginning of 2022, rates were about, they were in the threes. And then all of a sudden we started to see them go up. And then they just kind of gradually rose and rose and rose. And during that time, people didn't understand exactly what was going to happen with values because they don't want to buy at the wrong time. Right. And then with interest rates going up, it became unaffordable. Well, they just went from 4 to 5 to 6 to 7. And in October and 7 last year, October, they kind of peaked out a little bit over 7%. And now people are used to it. It's like the new norm. And I think a lot of it is.
Everybody's finally realized this is what it is. So we're going to sit on it, or are we just going to go ahead and jump in? Yeah.
And at the same time, we've seen property values, they dipped a little bit as you discussed, but now we're starting to see a little bit of an uptick in values.
Yeah.
And what do you think is the biggest cause of the values starting to go up?
More people have started buying.
More people, they're tired of renting.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, this is the new norm. I'm getting used to it. we better go out and buy before we're shut out.
The market is always cyclical, right? So we're going to see an up and then we're going to see a down, and then we're going to see an up and we're going to see a down. That's normal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's always going to happen. The interest rates going up definitely scared people. So everybody kind of froze.
Right.
Everybody's like, I can't do anything. I want to see what's going to happen. I don't want to jump in and be over my head or lose all this money if the market comes down. And so nobody knew what to do. So when people don't know what to do, their favorite thing to do is nothing.
That is so true. That is so true.
I think that, like you said, people have finally gotten used to the fact that 7% isn't completely unrealistic. It's manageable. You may have to bring your pricing down a little bit, but you can refinance that rate in the future. You're not married to 7%, but you are married to that house. So you find what's going to work for you for right now, and you know you're going to pay a little bit more in interest. And in a couple of years, you can refinance, and then you can, figure out what you want to do at that point.
Yeah. And I think that's, we talk a lot about when I'm speaking to buyers coming in to get pre-approved, we generally say, you're going to probably pay a premium on your mortgage payment right now, but it's better than paying a premium on a house because a premium on the mortgage is going to be far less than it is going to be a premium on the house. Because when rates drop, I think we're going to see a big frenzy.
And that's exactly current clients that we have right now. That was the exact conversation that I had with them last week. You're going to pay a little bit more in interest right now. But if you don't do something now, you wait 6 months until we hope maybe the rates come down. Then what's going to happen? Everybody else is going to decide it's the good time to buy now too. And then we're going to start seeing, overpricing, bidding wars, and the competition is going to get a lot higher. So I told them the exact same thing. You want to pay a higher price on the house, or do you want to pay a higher interest rate for a year or two? It's your decision, but ultimately, I think that just jumping in now is the right thing to do.
Is the right thing. And I think, you have your degree is in psychology, right? So a lot of it is just trying to allow the buyer to kind of eliminate some of the fear, right? And
100%.
Understand that.
Yeah.
So talk about, I know that you have a buyer right now that they went out and they made offers on like 4 different properties.
Yeah.
And what did you find with that buyer, and how did you kind of manage through the situation that they have going into multiple offers?
So the first house we put in an offer, it was interesting because I saw how their just excitement kind of overtook them. They were a little bit more willing to compromise. They were a little bit more willing to not stick to their number one priorities.
Right.
We went over asking price and still got outbid, which was crazy. But the house was beautiful. It really was. They had gotten it ready for market very, very well. So after that, we went in for another offer, got outbid again. And then we just wrote 2 offers on Sunday because
you did side-by-side parallel offers, right?
We did simultaneously at the same time, 2 different houses, 2 different sides of town. They were just like, something's got to take, right? Like we're going to get a house no matter what. So the thing with them is that they have been very determined to know like now is the right time to buy because we had that conversation. We had the conversation of, and they're not even in a rush. Like they don't have to leave where they are. They're going to rent that house out. So it's not like they're trying to get out of that house. But they're still very determined. Like this is the next move that they want to make. They've decided what's best for their family and they understand the market. They are not first-time home buyers. So I think that is a little bit of a factor there. I didn't have to overcome that hurdle with them. They know that buying with a higher interest rate is still worth it rather than waiting until next year.
Yeah. And you do specialize in first-time home buyers.
Yes, I love working with first-time home
buyers. And why do you think you're really good with those first-time home buyers?
Because I, with my degree in psychology, am able to kind of reel people back in, keep them calm, let them to be able to see like what the end goal is, because it's scary making big decisions like this. So being able to just say, okay, have your little freak out session. It's okay. not going to make you wrong for it.
Right.
But when you're done, let's come back and we'll sit down and we'll look at the details. Like the numbers will tell us where we're at.
Right.
We have our list of what's a priority. We know exactly what you want and where you're willing to compromise. And we find something. Like we don't have to be in a rush.
Right.
It's okay. Let's take our time and let's find exactly what works.
Well, what I found, certainly from you and our involvement is you listen. You listen instead of like the salesperson that is just go. You really try and really dive deep and understand their needs.
Yeah, I am a people person. I love people. I care about people probably more than I should sometimes.
You really want to help them get into a home. You don't care what price range,
No.
whatever it is. It's like, how can I help this person in their situation right now?
Yeah, absolutely. My first question always is, what's your goal here? Like, what are we trying to do? Where do you want to be? And how can we make it work for you? And even, a normal salesperson is going to say, oh, well, your budget's $450, but really, can we push you? This one's really, really nice, but it's at $470, where I'm the opposite. I'm like, let's not get house broke here. Okay. Let's do what's best. What's best for you guys?
Right.
It's going to keep you happy and make you satisfied to live in this home for the next 3, 5, 10 years.
Right.
But keep it so that you are not sorry later.
You're not sorry later.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I love about, what you do with your clients and how you treat them. Let's dive in. Last topic we're going to talk about is the supply of homes here in Las Vegas. How is that impacting the market?
It's definitely impacting the market because it's supply and demand. So the inventory is a little bit low right now.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why we are starting to see, like, the 2 offers that we did first with my clients were over list price. And then we got outbid over that.
Yes.
And again, it's because they were ready for market. They were marketed well. They were cleaned up. Everything was perfect with them. They were turnkey properties.
Right.
So you have someone who wants a turnkey property.
You're going to probably pay a premium.
The competition is going to be a little bit more strict.
So maybe looking at homes that may not be like ready for prime time, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're sitting a little bit longer. There's a little bit more room for negotiations. The house that we actually ended up just getting an offer accepted on yesterday still needs a little bit of work.
Right.
It's a great property. The bones of the house are great. It's all cosmetic. It's nothing major. It's not like this was, a complete reno job, but it needs some work. So it's going to take the right client that's ready to take on that task. Are you willing to step into a house that doesn't have as much competition on it, but it needs some paint and maybe a new floor, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So just depends. Again, it just gets back to like, what are your clients willing to do and where are their goals? Are they handy?
Right.
Do they want to step into a new home and maybe have a little bit of work to do, but get the actual house that they want? Or are they not handy and they want to step into a turnkey house that they can just move their stuff in and live in?
I love it. And that kind of talks a little bit about new homes. Are buyers now considering more new homes than they were in the past just because of the lack of inventory?
Yeah. And like we were talking about before, the new home builders are giving a lot of incentives right now. So you want a rate buy down, you want, 15, 20, I've seen up to 25,000, I think, for upgrades in the home when you go to their design center. And there's a lot of options. So if you're looking for something where there's not going to be a lot of competition and you're going to have a little bit more incentives, New builds is great. Yeah, it's a great option for people right now.
Well, Kristin, we really appreciate you joining us today.
Absolutely.
Las Vegas Pitch Presents. And until next time, we'll see you again soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.